What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate reverse rants, no hate. Now, I was about to do a video a couple of days ago, and I often hold off and wait because when a story comes out, certain things you just get that gut feeling like, no, there's going to be more to this story. So I try to minimize having to make a video with an add on than just an add on to something I already talked about. And times that's going to happen regardless. But, I try to just wait because it's like something else is going to happen. And I want to get it all in one take. Well, here's the deal. Now, Tyson Fury, as we know, the fight was postponed between him and Deontay Wilder due to Tyson Fury and others in his camp catching COVID. Now, that's what we were told. So I was skeptical because and I still am when it comes to this situation where everybody's catching COVID, everybody all of a sudden. And the thing is their own negligence, their own carelessness. So in the sense that we're being told he has COVID, Joseph Parker has COVID, and then all of a sudden you see Joseph Parker with a big smile on his face, looking like he's as happy as can be at a UFC event, which I talked about, no mask on, and pretty much not giving a damn if he spreads this to people, if that's the case, because if you have COVID, you're supposed to self quarantine. So, for people that say things like, well, if he has COVID and he's probably has been quarantined, you don't know that he's not quarantined. If he is, then he won't have to go to the hospital or die from it. Yeah. What about the people that can contract it from him, jackass? Duh. You ever think about that? So basically, you hear people saying this. Well, today they said this, and he doesn't have it, and that it was a mistake, and whatever, man. We get all of this, but here's my thing: we don't need to hear from other people. Why don't people speak up? It's as simple as that. They're not doing that. They just stay silent. Now, how much they care about it, that's up to them. And I'm not saying it's something that they should stress about, but I am saying it's kind of weird to me that you have COVID and it's negligent, it's irresponsible. And I mean, what kind of human being are you, right? To have something and go out in the public, no mask or nothing, and not doing what you're supposed to do, to self quarantine to try to get this stuff out your system. Okay, stay away from everybody, and so you don't pass this thing to anybody. Well, after that, I'm thinking, okay, if Tyson Fury actually has COVID, he's being awfully quiet about everything. Let me explain. Now, he wins this ESPY award. He made a brief speech about it, and that's that. Now, whether someone interviews him or not, because if he has COVID, I wouldn't want to sit there talking to someone, interviewing someone and they have COVID, right? But at the same time, he himself could make a video addressing the situation. Joseph Parker, same way. Even just, how long does it take to say, hey, listen, you guys have heard rumors about me having COVID. It's not true at all. Whatever. Whether he was vaccinated or not, but I don't have COVID, whatever. Same with Tyson Fury. You were especially Tyson Fury, because you were in a fight, okay? And all of a sudden, this fight is no longer because I'm talking about the AJ fight because you lost arbitration and no, have to fight Wilder. Then come to find out, no, he didn't have to fight Wilder. He chose to fight Wilder because he didn't want to pay Wilder. It wasn't about step aside money from Wilder according to, I wanted to fight, but I'm hearing different things. And the thing is, when the people involved in boxing is telling you one thing and then saying something else, it gets to a point where it's like, you know what, you lose interest real quick in what's going on. because it's like nobody's shooting straight about what's actually happening. Okay, so what happens is Tyson Fury's being really quiet, and you think that he would, hey, look, people, I know you guys have a lot of questions. I appreciate you guys. You guys pay your hard-earned money. You know, you guys make us rich. That's the reality. Where do you think their money come from? Everybody purchasing pay-per-views. Everybody purchasing tickets. I know you, right? So think about it. This is why these guys are living like kings, because you make them rich, ordering, spending your hard-earned money. Now, you don't think that fighters owe it to you, to the public, to say, hey, listen, let's get back to it. I know you guys have a lot of questions. What, different stories about why the AJ fight didn't happen. Now I'm supposed to fight Wilder. That's not happening. I have, let me, address this, and I want to let you guys know this is what happened. This is what's going on, what my health status is. All it, nothing. Things that a grown, mature-minded adult would do, a responsible person would do. Things that I myself been in certain situations where, let's make this known. It's simple, because people hear things, and now he didn't do that. And then he was very quiet. And then all of a sudden he's spotted at Exotic Royal car company, some whatever you call it, out in Las Vegas. Did my homework on that. Come to find out, it's a legit photo. Okay. This man has COVID. He's out shopping for cars or whatever. Then all of a sudden, a couple of days go by, another picture surfaces with him, like he's in a casino or somewhere, hugged up with some guy standing up there, And I'm like, again, both photos, no mask. What happened to self quarantine? Like what happened to that? Then all of a sudden, I'm hearing he doesn't have COVID, and I'm saying, okay, wait, okay. Now let me explain something to y'all. Anytime you get sick, okay, now the first thing they want to do is they'll ask you, do you want to get tested? Now they take that damn thing and shove it up your nose. And it takes 2 to 10 days for the results to come back. Okay. Now I don't know about other states, but where I'm at, it's 14 days self quarantine. Okay, 14. For him to even go back to get the test done, just to see what the results are, right? When your results are supposed to come back when they come back, okay? 2 to 10 days. But if that's the case, here's my question. Why in the hell would you get tested again, then find out that you don't have it, and proceed to just chill? Now think about this. If he doesn't have COVID, why isn't he making sure and he's in shape? Like everybody was trying to say, I don't think it's that he's not in shape. Okay, well, here's the thing. Why wouldn't he be trying to fulfill that date? You know what? Only thing happened was I got COVID, but I'm good. I can train. I don't feel weak. I'm already going all over the place, taking pictures, gambling, whatever, out here buying cars or whatever. I want that fight. 24th, it will go down. And it's the same man that was talking all this, or I'm drinking 12 pints or 18 pints, or whatever the hell it was. I could beat AJ, this and that. AJ stiff, AJ's this, right? He's a bum. If I'll knock him out in 3 rounds. If I don't knock him out in 3 rounds, I'll retire. All this nonsense. And the thing is, you got so many people that say things like, oh, that's just Fury being Fury. And my thing is, okay, listen. If you guys don't mind being lied to, that's solely up to you. But at the end of the day, I smell bullshit. And if you are not thinking, wait a minute, if if he has COVID and the fight is off, postponed, isn't the idea to make sure that this thing doesn't spread to anybody else and to keep safe? But yet you're taking pictures with guys with no mask. You don't have a mask on. That person doesn't have a mask on. So if this the type of fans, is this what it's come to? People are such fanboys that they risk catching that shit. And even if, okay, I've been vaccinated, say the guy that took the picture with him is vaccinated and he's feeling like, well, if I do get it, I won't die from it or go to the hospital. Like everybody for some reason feel the need to explain, like we don't know that. Point is, do you want to get that shit regardless? Regardless. So you don't even decide to, because you get it, even though you're vaccinated, you still can give it to someone else, regardless. Now, what if you take that shit home or give it to somebody in your family, regardless? And I'm just looking and I said, this is weird. It's really weird. Because think about this. You got people in your family, you got loved ones, you got best friends. You can even a complete stranger. You don't have to love a person to respect them. You don't have to even know a person to want to see the best for them. We don't know these fucking fighters personally. Some people act like they know them because they're watching them on TV. The reality is, you'll tell a person what they need to hear, which is the truth. Not what they want to hear, but what they need to hear. What? Okay? Now, if you have someone in your family that wants to do something and you feel like, nah, that's not the right way to go, there's somebody that you don't even know that can tell you the same thing that you already think and feel, and you'll say, yeah, you're right. Right? Because it's not in the best interest of that person, and you don't want to see them fall. So why is it when it comes to these fighters, these celebrities, why is it that people get so offensive and act like children and want to make excuses for them instead of just realizing, no, that's true. That's what he's right. If you're well enough to be all over Vegas with no mask on, taking pictures and chilling and buying cars, why aren't you well enough to train? If Joseph Parker doesn't have COVID, you don't have COVID. Who else is in the camp? Andy Lee, and I forget the other guy's name. But if this is false, then what's holding you up? And if you're in shape, like, you're not going to tell me he got out of shape in a couple of days. So that's the whole thing of people accepting lies and making excuses for these people. This is why they do what they do. And they don't even, they take your fucking money, go sit their rich asses up in their mansions while you sitting here in your fucking 2-bedroom apartment, broke as fuck, acting like, this is the most important thing in your life is to sit and cheer and make excuses for these athletes. It doesn't benefit you. Only thing I get out of a good fight is, that was a great fight. That was a good fight. And boom, guess what? If it's really that good, the replay value of it is going to be real high. That's about it. And you get to indulge in what, something that you have a love for. That's it. That's it. Their money is not going in your pocket. It's going in their pocket. Your money is going in their pockets. And to have somebody turn around and lie to you, you guys can believe it if you want. Bottom line, Tyson Fury can fight and all that. And I don't really, I'm not into this fight with him and Wilder. You guys already know I support AJ as a heavyweight fighter in terms of who I want to see win. But if AJ was doing any of this stuff, I'd be saying the same things about AJ. And I've gotten on other fighters that I want to see win, regardless to who they fight. And I got on them the same way. So it's no favoritism. But you guys really need to grow up, a lot of you. You make excuses for these guys. And they don't even think enough of you. They don't even think enough of you to make a simple video to explain. Take the time. Take the time. The same way you take the time out of your schedule to go and support their careers. Just to take the time to explain what's going on and keep you posted, so you hear it from them. Same way when Deontay Wilder was quiet and wasn't saying anything, right? And pretty much Team Fury, they kept calling Deontay Wilder out. Nothing went on. And then we kept hearing the fight was going to be moved to a different date. It's going to happen, but another date. Or when, no actual date, but it's going to happen. And the fight kept getting postponed. The only difference now is not Wilder holding the fight up. It's Fury. Okay, at least seemingly. They could all be in this together for all I know. And somebody made the comment about Wilder, man, he need to say something. And then really, when I thought about it, I said, no, he don't. Think about it. Why should he? He had nothing to say when he was face to face with Fury. He said everything about Fury when he wasn't in front of Fury, but in front of him, he got scared and didn't say anything. About a month ago, he addresses, okay, 2 retired fighters, 2 black retired fighters. Y'all know why I'm emphasizing on that. Who's been following me? Y'all know why I'm emphasizing on that. And what did he do? Andre Ward, Timothy Bradley. which they can be annoying listening to them talk because they're very, very judgmental, and they talk a lot of times, most of the time, like whatever they're saying is just facts. Like their opinions are just facts. And I tell everybody, myself included, nobody's opinions are facts. Now, if your opinions is based on facts, it's still an opinion. Okay, it's just probably more legit or closer to the point, and basically than a person who's not. But it's still your opinion. Okay, I can break it down for people who have that a hard time understanding things like that. But what I'm saying, what was his comment to them? Keep that same energy when y'all see me. Right. Two guys that's much smaller than you and retired. And again, black. But the guy who you call a racist, right? White privilege, racist, all that, who beat your ass, and according to you cheated, you had nothing to say. So what should he say now? Because he got there face to face and sat there and listened to music, or pretended he was listening to music. So what should he say now? He doesn't have any room to talk about nothing Fury's doing. Fury did the same shit Wilder did, as far as holding the fight up and disappearing and getting quiet. He accepted his award, gave a little speech to ESPN or whatever for his little SP, and then he disappeared. And then he pops up taking pictures with everybody. See, this is something. And now John Fury comes with this thing about Wilder. Fury should take Wilder to court for defamation of character. No, he shouldn't. You want to know why he shouldn't? Because he should have did it when Wilder was first talking about this nonsense. And he had nothing to say about it. Fury would look like a fool too, going to court saying, well, look, this guy's saying this and this and that about me. And now, listen, he would have a better case of suing Wilder for defamation of character. He could do that, and he could win that. Wilder, on the other hand, with the whole, I got proof, just to admit he had no proof. Well, yeah, Fury got a better chance of winning that. The thing about that was, even if he won it, it would look like, well, what's the motive? If anything, shut the fuck up and stop saying my name, talking bullshit. But why is it that Big John is saying now Fury should take him to court for defamation of character? Why is he saying this now? Where was all of this back when this shit was fresh? That's my point. He could have called him out and put him on the spot. Where's this proof? And the fact that Wilder just said he has no proof. Look, they could, a case that they could win, but it's like, to me, it's tit for tat petty shit. You didn't do it, then leave it alone. That's just like somebody robbed you today. You see this person several times, within a 10-year span. Okay, let's just say you see this person several times, and 10 years later, all of a sudden, you decide you want revenge. No, if you didn't do it, then leave it alone, man. Let that shit go. Just, it's stupid. So, if Wilder decides to start bringing this shit up again and keep going on, and let's say Fury decides to do that, and then he sues Wilder and he wins. Okay, are you guys going to fight, or is that how it's going to end? So I don't think Wilder needs to say anything. He has no room to say anything. I told you guys, as different as Fury and Wilder are, they are alike when it comes to bullshit. I told you guys this. And what else can you make out of this in a positive light? So I just feel like I said, if you guys decide that it's okay to be lied to and taken as a joke, because someone would have to think very low of you to think that this is even believable. Put yourself in those same shoes. Let's say you went to work and somebody said you got COVID. Now you got people looking at you like, oh, stay away from me. Would you sit there quiet and say, oh, I don't care what they think about me? If they think I got COVID. No, hell no. You're going to make it known. That's bullshit. I don't have no goddamn COVID or whatever. But these guys are running around, no mask, taking pictures with people and buying cars and doing whatever. Joseph Parker had UFC fights, and you guys are such fans that you don't question that. You try to make excuses out of it for these guys instead of, you know what, that is, some suspect shit. Like, really, the same way. So you can't say nothing about Wilder fans if you're doing the same thing for Tyson Fury. So either way, it's like, my thing is this. See, here's where the bullshit goes, okay? Look at it this way, because this is what it is. If Fury is wrong and Wilder is wrong, it's not that you guys don't know that they're wrong. The problem is, if you're a Wilder fan, you don't want to admit it because, oh, well, we're going against the opposition. He's wrong, but I don't want to admit it in front of him. Okay? Let's look at Nestor Gibbs' situation because he was one of Wilder's biggest supporters. But look at what happened when something went wrong. Now how he really feel comes out. Okay, so he knew this all along. It's not something that he just realized. Like he said, I've been biting my tongue for too long. So we know how that goes. Same thing. If you're a Fury fan and Fury's wrong, but you don't want to feel like you're giving Wilder fans the satisfaction of admitting it, you're being just as childish as they are. And the reality is wrong is wrong. So I ask people this, questions. I give analogy because I want you guys to use your heads. Okay, instead of thinking with all this anger and or this pride. If somebody raped your daughter, would you go out and rape their daughter to pay them back? Or would you either one, whoop that ass and call the police or whatever, but would you go out and do the same thing that they're doing? Then if that's the case, why are you complaining? Because all you basically doing is saying, I'm a scumbag just like you. And I'm going to hurt a child because he hurt my child. No, I'm going to hurt you. However I see fit, but I'm going to hurt you. So think about it. He raped your little 7-year-old daughter, so now you're going to go do the same thing to his little 7-year-old daughter. And that's basically what you're doing. If you do that, you're saying, I don't care if he's wrong. They're not going to admit that Wilder's wrong, so I'm not going to admit Fury's wrong, and vice versa. So what are you solving? And you guys are grown adults. Fury can defend himself. Wilder can defend himself. Stop making excuses for these fighters. This is why they do what they do, because they're sitting here living like kings off your money. You're not even close to living like a king. Your money can't compare to theirs. And it's your money putting these guys up in mansions and buying these expensive cars. Your money. And this is reality. And basically, you saw the ticket sales for this fight. So it goes to show you that there's a lot of people that's fed up with these guys. They lost interest in them. So one, we know Wilder's no big star in America, which we already knew. Fury's no big star in America, which we already knew. Okay? So unless you have a solid card all the way through, who's really coming to this fight? They need other fighters on that card that will attract people to come to this fight. And that shows. Because from being 2 weeks away, I've seen more people in Walmart and ShopRite than people that bought tickets for this fight. So if you're gonna really, sit back and make excuses for people, you really have no reason to complain when they stiff you. Simply because you are allowing them and your actions are letting them know that they can. And when they read these comments, let me tell you something. When they read these comments, instead of hearing all this favoritism crap, like we always say, right? Wilder fans go crazy over trying to defend him and, he this, he that. That makes him feel good. Because what he's trying to do is appease the people that's taken up for him. Okay? It's no different for anybody who has, crooked motives and are too stubborn to realize that they're wrong. Now, they look and realize these are people that's been supporting them going, hey, look, you got to step it up, man. We out here spending money going to your fights and, we're buying your pay-per-views. We're going to your fights and look at what you guys are doing. No, they need the backlash because it's your fucking money. Now, if these guys feel like they're too big of stars to fight in an empty arena, right? If that makes them feel bad, okay, or uneasy, and this would have been by design because of COVID, how the hell you think they feel that they would have been fighting in an empty arena because nobody cared about the fight? So the message has to be sent. Now, why Wilder is staying quiet, I don't know, and I feel like he should remain quiet because, like I said, when he should have talked up, he didn't. Fury, if he decides to address people and let everybody know what's going on, to be courteous and be respectful, because I feel like that's necessary. You don't need to know his marital status and all that. He has no problem coming on to talk about his, I have mental issues and all. He don't have no problem with doing that. I was going through obesity and alcoholism and okay, right. So it take less time to explain what's going on. We don't need to know the details from day to day. What happened? I called this person and I made a left turn to go to his house. No, all simple. Just what happened? What's going on? How you feeling, bro? I'm good. He's saying nothing. So if you can be out there and you don't have COVID and you're taking, you can be ready by the 24th. I mean, you can be ready. You can be ready by July 24th. No, but this is my point. And I still believe that Tyson Fury was not in fight shape. You'd have a hard time trying to convince people outside of that Deontay Wilder bubble that Tyson Fury is scared to fight somebody that he beat twice. Okay? Because we already know their go-to card is he cheated. I'm thinking like this, and I think any logical thinking person would. The only reasons that I can think of for Tyson Fury's silence and the whole postponing this fight is either one, bro. Tyson Fury, you never really wanted this fight, in all honesty. Two, I'm going to give you 3 reasons, okay? 2, you never had COVID in the first goddamn place. Now, 3 would have been either he got the shit or he don't. But 3, in all honesty, you don't want this fight because you're not ready. Honestly, you're not ready. Or maybe you just want to fuck with Deontay Wilder and drag this shit out. That's the only 3 reasons I can really think that makes sense to me. Okay, let me say it again. 1, he never really wanted this fight because he done did this already. You understand what I'm saying? 2, he never fucking had COVID in the first fucking place because that's the reason. That's the excuse for the fight being canceled. Or 3, he wants to fuck with Deontay and drag this shit out. Because there's no fucking way for somebody to get sick, have COVID or whatever, and the fight's canceled and he's walking around smiling. Nobody's saying that he should go jump off of a fucking bridge, but it's like, you're okay with this? You're okay with this? You know, and John Fury saying what he's saying, let me just tell y'all something. That's nothing but a distraction to take your mind off of what's actually going on and what should be happening. That's all that is. He gets there, get all loud, pointing his fist up in the air and talking about what this and that, my son this and my son that. And no. The only thing that should be going on is Tyson Fury should be fighting Deontay Wilder. Now, if you want to stretch this out and go to October, that's fine. I mean, like I said, I'm really not interested in the fight itself, in all honesty. But I still feel like regardless to what happens or don't happen, he needs to make a public announcement. If to not just his fan, but boxing in general. You know, he needs to make that, but if he doesn't, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it, neither should you. But I'm just making this known because a lot of you love to make excuses for fighters. Like I said, you'll tell your loved ones one thing to take, so they make better decisions, but you sit here and when it comes to these rich celebrity people, it's like you guys feel like, no, we got to make excuses. I'm not going to give them the benefit. Who are them? This is not country versus country. This is one fighter versus another fighter. It's as simple as that. That's it. That's it. That's all it should be. Anyway, never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people, and I will catch y'all on the next video.